Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, guys, I asked what this conversation was going to be about, and what I heard is big changes are in store. There's a lot that's going on. The things that are going on, they require you to choose how you're going to experience these things. Okay? So, just getting these cards ready. Ooh, a card fell out. There's something going on that you don't know about. And you don't know about it not because you were kept out of the loop accidentally, not because someone didn't have a chance to communicate details to you. It's because someone intentionally was trying to mislead you, misguide you. Something. That's not good. That's definitely not good. That's definitely not a good feeling at all. Because the card that came out was deceit. So someone's trying to deceive you. Hold on. I got to look up a component of the word deceive. So give a mistaken impression, fail to admit to oneself that something is true, to be sexually unfaithful. Okay, Middle English from Old French, from Latin, disipere, catch, ensnare, and cheat. So something is trying to ensnare you. Let's see. Now this is kind of entering into the realm of energy rather than human. Something is trying to ensnare you. It's trying to cheat you out of something that's rightfully yours. Maybe it's your ascension mechanics. Maybe it's your ascension mechanics because, I don't know, there's a weird feel to it. There's definitely a weird feel. And then I'm getting notifications. I like to use my notifications sort of as like a secondary layer of messaging. Okay. And then let's get some cards from this deck. How are you guys doing, by the way? So, 1 second. Set that aside. So something is trying to deceive you, right? It's a fallen one. They're trying to see how strong you are. It's testing. There's a lot of like, yeah. This is a challenging period. This change, this huge change that's on the way. It's something that's going to increase your strength, but only by way of a fallen one. High Priestess of Air in reverse. This is something that's fallen from grace. It could be someone who fell from your grace. Maybe someone who you trusted, but their actions, their energy, the interactions, I don't know, something about it has really been being used as a way to try and access you. This is a difficult thing. This is a difficult thing because it feels like this is someone that you once trusted that's being used as an entry point, a conduit of some kind. See, like, this is how they are behind the cloak. This is how they are in front of it, as though like they're really into divinity. They're really into, oh my God, I know what this is. Uh-huh. Let me just tie this down because it's going to continue to irritate me. This is someone who has presented themselves in a way that's not accurate to how and who they actually are. Did they do this intentionally? Well, potentially, yes, but also potentially they have no idea who they are. They have zero experience exploring their actual shadows, the history of them. So they're kind of this is how they actually see themselves. This is how they want others to see them. Someone who is very mystical, someone who is very just like kind, someone who, you know, you can trust. They give off this initial vibe that they are trustworthy, right? I don't know that they're intentionally trying to deceive you, but this is who they are behind this character that's being played. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be pulling them out of this. You're just not. You're needing to focus on what needs to be focused on. And what you need to focus on right now is building your strength, increasing your strength. There's a lot that is happening behind the scenes that are causing quite a bit of shifting within everyone's morphogenetic template. And this shifting that's taking place, it could be a good thing, or it could just be a thing, or it could be something that opens you to tremendous liability. That's not good. Oh, Lord. Opening you to tremendous, tremendous liability. You have to be careful who you trust. You have to be careful who you trust. How well do you know this person? Is this a person that you know very well? Because again, I don't know that they're necessarily a bad person. I don't know that they are necessarily someone who's intentionally malicious or malignant. As a matter of fact, it kind of feels like they're not. They're not intentionally malicious. They're not intentionally malignant. To some degree, they are genuine in their desire to help, but it also carries with it a little bit of a sense of they're genuine in their desire to help because they want you to like them. The issue is not necessarily the person. The issue is the person is being used as an entry point to access you. That's a big no-no. That's a huge no-no. So if you're like, well, I feel so bad for them, this is my fault. If that's how you feel, the most loving thing you can do is leave them alone. Leave them alone, because what happens if they can no longer access you? They get left alone. Anyone who's used as a conduit, as an entry point, they're being exploited to enter your space. The moment they're no longer able to access your space, it's not a viable connection for the parasitic thing, right? Or maybe, Brandy, you need to stop speaking to people who are committed to only ever labeling you as an addict. If you want to move forward from being and existing as an addict, oftentimes you have to leave behind the people who claim to love you and want you sober, because those are the people who don't know any other way but to interact with you as though you are in fact an addict. So long as you continue to exist in an environment that labels you as something you have already outgrown, you will continue to have to fight nonsensically. Nonsensically. Yeah. I'm not a licensed mental health professional, and I'm definitely not trained for people who struggle with substance and self medicating. But here's my logic. So long as you continue to identify as the addict, you never actually leave it alone. You never actually heal beyond that. The way I see people who struggle with addiction, it is a thing of you did not have the coping mechanisms to deal with whatever it was, whatever intensity you were needing to deal with. And so you went to self medicating. And now you're strong enough. You're strong enough. You've been through enough to be able to learn new coping mechanisms and begin to slowly address the things that crippled you once upon a time. And that's that. You're done with that phase. It's time to move forward. And it's not, oh, don't ever tell anyone that you've had this struggle. It's stop identifying as the version of you that no longer exists. And I think that logic applies to every single aspect of your life. If you have outgrown specific types of behaviors that, were disruptive, were malignant, and you no longer do that and you no longer want to do that, it's time to stop identifying as that. Right? If you used to be a troublemaker, you used to be a shit talker, whatever it is, if you're no longer that, stop identifying as that. But people have to be honest with themselves whether they are or aren't anymore. These big changes that are in store, they require us to let go of the versions of ourselves we have already outgrown. And only you know whether you've outgrown it or not. I mean, you can lie to yourself about it, or you can be honest with yourself. People are going to think whatever they're going to think regardless. Like, I've outgrown the part of me that like craves to be people's whipping girl. You want to blame someone, you can blame it on me. You want to have a villain in your life, despite the fact that I never did anything to you. Go ahead. I'll be the villain if you need me to be. Just by label, not by actions. Right? Now it's like, oh, I'm the villain, then leave me alone. I'm not willing to continue in those same cycles that I used to allow people to suck me into. Because what? Because they don't have the capacity to move forward from their self identified labels. You ever notice how someone who is a victim, they like to identify as a victim? They will always seek individuals who they can label as what? An aggressor, an attacker, a maltreatment person. Is that really happening? I don't know. Because for me, I've come across quite a few people who once upon a time viewed me as their hero. And the moment I was no longer of use to them, which that's fine, they went and they found themselves another hero. Well, guess what? Guess what I get to become after they're done pretending I'm their hero, despite me not wanting to be their hero? I get to be the villain. I get to be the next villain. Oh, you know what Emmy did? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. That's what I did. Not a damn thing. So if you want the changes to happen, you have to let go of the part of you that continues to apologize for things that you're accused of but never actually did. Did you do the things that you're being accused of? These are big changes that are happening. And the reason you need to hear these things is because you need to address it. You need to face it head on, or else it continues to follow you through every single aspect of your new life. So here's my logic, right? I've been through some stuff on social media, not a big deal to me. And those things that I've been through, most of those people, they think they got away with it because I never addressed it. I never confronted them. I never said anything. I just kind of quietly disappeared, right? So now they're on other social media platforms and they come across me again and they try and address me as though we're still homies and I'm still the person that would give myself and my life for you, a stranger who has done me dirty at some point. No, the fuck I'm not. No, no. Don't bother privately messaging me like, "Hi, it's been quite a few years. Oh my gosh, I've missed you. Can I get a free reading? I'm going through something." Well, I'm sorry you're going through something. You're not even going to get a response because guess what? I no longer open messages. Why? Because I'm no longer that person. And if I cannot control my desire to inappropriately offer myself and my skills, I need to stay out of those environments. So I don't open messages. Unless I am expecting your message, I'm not opening that message. Why? Because I know myself. I will still say yes. Well, then that means you should. No, that means I still need time to continue addressing the part of me that I'm trying to lay to bed, trying to put to sleep. These big changes that are happening, they require you to allow the next version of you, hopefully not another character or caricature, but a version of you that's more in alignment with your authentic self, not this manufactured authenticity that we see so much online. These big changes can absolutely alter the course of your life in a very beautiful, empowering way. But if you're still going to be that same person that's offering yourself up to people who are bottomless pits, my God, I have people that I know. How much have I given to you already? Whether it be money or time, how much have I given to you already over years and years and years, never receiving anything reciprocated? Zero reciprocation, zero, zero, zero appreciation, zero concern for the way you negatively impact me. And you still want more? No, no. That version of me is gone because of people like that. That version of me is gone. Does that mean I'm mean now? No, that means I have boundaries. I'm not afraid to speak up on those boundaries. Does that mean I no longer help people? No, I do help people that I genuinely feel that I should help. Does that mean I need them to worship me if I help them? Not at all. Because when I genuinely feel I should help, that's something my heart is telling me. That means you don't owe me anything. That means you letting me help, it makes me feel better. Because if I didn't, I would feel very uncomfortable with the situation as it is. It's a reciprocated thing. I gain from it as much as I give. These changes that are coming your way, they require you to begin allowing yourself to receive as much as you give, not expecting it, but allowing yourself to be environments that value you. I have a circle so small at this point that it's a dot. There's no space for anything else. See, a circle has space in the middle, right? A circle, I used to have a small circle. It's not a small circle anymore. It's a dot. There's no space for anything. And the people who compose this dot, where I am the center of that dot, and their worlds don't revolve around me. I'm saying, in my perspective, I am in the center of that dot because these people come together, they come around me, and they protect me even from myself and my poor decisions. They recognize when I overgive and they're like, hey, no, I don't think so. Because guess what? I'm now in the environment that I belong in. That's an environment that sees me as I am, appreciates me for what I am, not what I can give. And I no longer have to worry about that. Why? Because I'm not that version anymore. I'm not that version of myself. That version of myself was not my authentic self. That was the end result of So I'm over here reminding myself I'm not that person anymore. And Michael is over here reminding me that sometimes we need to take a moment to grieve the end of that existence, even though that was never actually me. Um, Sometimes the part of you that is created by you to survive the environments that you are in, environments that demand you to be something outside of who you are. Sometimes you just need to take a moment to release some of that emotion and allow yourself to recognize, had you not gone through the difficulties you went through, that's now making you cry because you're grieving the loss of something you identified as. Sometimes if you don't go through those things, you never understand, you never see yourself clearly, and then you never ever get to introduce yourself to the reality of who you actually are and the gravity of the beauty of you. Hmm. Um, the question that keeps running through my head is this question of, in that period where I felt no other option but to overgive in order to be given permission to simply exist by people I never needed permission from. The issue was not the giving. The issue was never allowing myself to receive, because it would absolutely be a lie to say that during that period, the only people that were around me were the people who always had their hands out, wanting more, demanding more, insisting more. No, I was also very much surrounded by people who were like, Emmy, it's too much. Stop. They're never going to stop. Stop. You have to think about yourself. I was surrounded by both. So then comes the question, why did I never listen to the people who actually cared enough to tell me the truth, that it was enough, it was too much, and I needed to take care of me? Why did you never take care of you? Was this something you were convinced that you didn't deserve to be cared for? You didn't deserve to be protected? Did you exist in an environment where, as a child, you were never allowed to just be yourself? That if the adults in your environment found you difficult to control, because you really shouldn't be controlled, you should be guided. You should be sheltered and guided, not controlled. Because of their sense of insufficiency, they went ahead and caused you to believe that you were too much, that you were the problem, that you were difficult, that you were all of these things, and you've carried that identity with you your entire life. Why? Why? Because you've never taken the time to recognize you're so much more than simply a byproduct of the environment that didn't know what to do with you. You're more than just the byproduct of an adult's inability to see that they have no clue how to lead and guide you, because you are so far beyond what they know they're capable of ever reaching. So then what do we need to do? We need to step in as a high priestess of spirit. You need to start being who you actually are. That's going to take a while, but the changes that are coming, those were always changes that were designed to remove you from the environments, the circles, the settings that have perpetuated this type of inauthentic existence. This inauthentic existence needs to be corrected. It's time. It's time. It's time for you to let go of all of the things that keep you anchored exactly where you still are. Unhappy with yourself, unhappy with your life, feeling so upset with the way everything has gone, with no one there to reach out a hand just so you could steady yourself. They pushed you up against the wall. Don't wait for them to reach out their hand so you can steady yourself. You have a wall right behind you. Lean against that wall, get yourself steadied, and then stand the fuck up. Stand up. I no longer will allow myself to exist in environments that simply tolerate me, and definitely not environments where I'm made to feel some type of way about how I am and who I am. You know, in environments that are made of people who I grew up with, environments that have people who knew me before I evolved into Emmy Nicolina, I don't enter those environments anymore, with the exception of 2 siblings. I don't. Why? Because fuck that and fuck you if you think you're going to anchor me into an existence I outgrew a lifetime ago. And I will not allow you to shame me into a space of making me feel like I'm a problem and an embarrassment when I'm finally beginning to blossom and understand what gravity of gift I offer even complete strangers. I will never give that type of people the honor of being in the same proximity as me. Never again. Never again. Do I say that embarrassed or ashamed? Do I say that angry? No. That is a passionate declaration. And y'all need to be careful of the people who can only be in your life if you need help from them. But I mean, all they do is help me. Babe, they need you to be suffering and struggling so they feel they have a purpose. If they don't know how to treat you when you're succeeding, if they don't know how to treat you when you are stable, if they don't know what to be for you outside of the pity party event coordinator, I don't know that they have a place in your life unless you're willing to stay in that same life. Are you willing to stay in that same life, that same struggle, that same pain, the same tears that no one ever sees and no one will ever wipe for you? Why? Because no one cares? No, because you hide it all. You pretend it's okay. You hide it all to salvage the feelings of people who never cared about the authentic version of you. That's one hell of a cycle to be in. I know, because I've been in those cycles and I refuse. I will let go of everything and everyone that requires me to re-enter those spaces and those cycles in order to make them comfortable. I don't give a shit if we grew up as sisters. I'm now an only child. Make me an orphan. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Why? Emmy, you say you're not angry. Why do you speak like this? I'm speaking with conviction. They're called sentence enhancers. I'm actually not angry. I'm speaking with conviction because my entire life I spoke in a question, waiting for people who did not have the capacity or desire to witness the gravity of me. They'd never let me speak with conviction. How do you know if you're in that type of environment? Well, when you speak with conviction, they tell you, like, oh my God, you're so angry. Why are you so dramatic? Oh my God, why are you so aggressive? You're too much. Then find less. Find less. If you're such a pain in the ass for these people who claim to love you, why do they keep coming around you? Because they love me and they're trying to help? No, they want another hit of your energy. And in order to receive that, they need you to subjugate yourself. They need you to submit to their desire to have dominion over you. So then, what's the point? I don't know. You tell me, because I don't see the point in any of that. But then I'll have no one. Oh, babe, but then you'll have all the space to fill your life with the right people. It's like trying to bring your furniture into a new place you moved into, and that furniture is infested with bed bugs. It's infested with ticks. You going to bring that into your new place? I can clean it. Yeah. You're also going to infest your new place. You're going to infect your energy. But then my house will be empty. Yes, it will be, but it will also be clean. It will also not have any of that yucky. So then what do I do? Well, it might take some time, but you save up to buy new furniture. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be something that makes you feel like your home is your sanctuary. You can get it secondhand. Make sure you clean it before you bring it in. These people who've already gone through things, but they resonate. Those are probably your people. Those are probably your people, and you need to stop. You need to stop with this desire to show your loyalty to people who never earned your loyalty. What, just because you've known them for a very long time? Have they treated you like family? I came to the realization of something. There's a person who I grew up with who, for a very long time, up until recently, actually, like the last year or so, I swear to God, I adored this person so fucking much. I love them so much. But in the past year, I finally allowed myself to be realistic, looking at the life and experiences that we've shared. They never actually liked me. They didn't. They didn't have the courage to say it, though. They didn't like me. How do I know? Everything that they've done. Since we've become adults, everything that they've done. And I look the other way and look the other way and look the other way. And nothing's going to ever change if you don't allow yourself to see the reality. That person needs me in a space of struggle to know how to relate to me. Because they struggle? No. Because then they feel they're in a position of superiority. They can give me handouts. They can give me transfer me some funds. They can buy me things, buy my kids things. And then that's okay, because they feel so insecure within themselves that to see me simply existing in my purpose is too much for them. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. Why? Why? And I saw this after I tried, and I didn't think anything of it. I gave my goddaughter a birthday gift I'd been missing for how many years of my goddaughter's life. I needed to give my goddaughter something that I felt they would really enjoy, that they would cherish and see the value of, and it would have an underlying message. So Gucci's not that expensive, you guys. There's some stuff on the Gucci website that's not really that expensive. It's not like thousands of dollars. And if I'm trying to make up for being gone for years of my goddaughter's life, $200, the cheapest necklace, I don't know that that's such a huge flex. It's like the cheapest thing on the website. I know a teen would love something Gucci. So that's what I gave. And it became a big fucking deal. It became this thing. And I didn't say anything. I was just like, hey, there's a package that's coming for my goddaughter. You have to sign for it. So I didn't know if you'd have time to go to the store to pick up what I picked out for their birthday. So I just had it delivered. You have to sign for it. It's this no big deal. It's no big deal. I wanted something special for her, but it wasn't a flex. It wasn't a flex. Y'all, Gucci is just a premium brand, if that. And no, I don't wear designer clothes. It's people's perceptions that are skewed. So what happened with that gift? It was a big fucking deal. I was being a show off. I was trying to prove something, and I was like, I haven't been in her life for years by my choice. I've missed so many birthdays and so many events for years. Like, let her have. This is probably the only time I'm going to get her something like this. What is the big deal? Oh, it's a big fucking deal. Why? Because when people are committed to not understanding you, not seeing you, they create their own story of who you are. That was a slap in the face for them, for the parent. That was a slap in the face for the parent. Why? Why? Because you see, it's no big deal for me. I'm not rich. I put that on my credit card. I want my goddaughter to have something special. But that's not how it was received. Why? Because that was an environment that was already set. And I apparently had no right changing the dynamic. And that was the start of the end. Why? Because everything I did from that point forward was a slap in the parent's face, another way or reason to show off, to this or that. I'm just fucking existing, yo. Like, I don't share anything about my life with you. I don't share where I live. I don't share what car I drive. Why? Because I always have to be careful that something about my existence is going to be a slap in the face. That's not a way to live. And if I was to stick with what society says, I would still have to be loyal to that person who doesn't like me. That's okay. I still have love for them. I do. I still have love for them. But I will never again allow myself to be around them. I'm done. The big changes that are coming, they require you to be brave enough to let go of the things that have simply taken up space. It's taken up space. Like, okay, you're upset that I spent $200 on my goddaughter. And then you're upset that I didn't have the budget, the fucking $10,000 to fly out for 48 hours to spend time with you at your event. You wanted me to bring my whole family. And I did the calculations, the size of my family, the airfare and everything. That was going to be fucking 20 something thousand dollars. I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, what? To prove to you that I love you? And you don't even want me around. Think about that, you guys. Think about that. Think about the way you allow yourself to remain in the same spaces, never changing, to accommodate people who don't even really want you around. Yikes. Yikes. Wow. Wow. And to really bring it home, I was going to put $5,000 on my credit card to fly out. That's a one-way ticket. It would take me 3 days, 3 flights to arrive. And I cried because I realized I still wouldn't make it in time. Just to prove. And what would have happened had I gone? Had I done that? What would have happened? So I don't have a way to get home. First and foremost, I don't have a way to get home. Secondly, when I arrive, do you think any of those people will talk to me? Do you think any of those people would have talked to me? Would have made me feel welcome? It would have been a thing of, what is she doing here? Even knowing that I cried. And even thinking about it, it upsets me. Why? I don't like to disappoint people. But all the energy, time, and resources I would have wasted trying to prevent someone who's disappointed by my existence from being disappointed that I exist in proximity to them. Instead, I chose to use that time, energy, and those resources to work on me. And I'm so glad that I chose the option of simply crying in private. Because had I forced it and actually gone, you know what would have happened? I didn't know that my lawyers needed specific information for the criminal case that I have filed in a completely different country for someone who was threatening my life. It was that very weekend I found out. I would not have been home. I would not have had my laptop or all of my archived files, and I would have lost that case. 6 digits invested, I would have lost that case. But because I chose myself, I won that criminal case. I spent 36 hours going through thousands and thousands of files. And then I found the file that completely destroyed their case. Sometimes you get in a position that's very, very difficult because it's that difficulty that actually solidifies the change. And it's at that point I became a different person. I will never return back to the person I was that allowed for that individual to have that type of stranglehold on me and my emotions. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but I really don't give a fuck what happens in their life at this point. I don't care. I don't care. Keep the godchildren, I keep it all. None of that has anything to do with me at this point. It's not me angry at the godchildren. It's me recognizing the godchildren are being used as pawns. You want access to them, you have to. No, I don't. I have my own kids. I'm okay. I'm okay. I will always have well wishes for all my godchildren. But I need to just leave that whole existence behind. And now, the energy that I would have used to tiptoe around, to wonder what I did wrong, to this, to that, wondering if, oh my God, am I putting the godchildren in a position because, if I keep in contact, will the parent be upset? I'm focusing on my kids. I'm focusing on my work, my career, my healing, my health, all of these things that I put on the back burner. What a beautiful change. There was a period of silence. I went away. I came back, and it was the same shit. And I watched this unfold over several years, the same shit, intended to make me feel like shit. That was a difficulty I had to go through to finally get to this big change that I've been allowing myself to process over the last year. I love my life. I have other nieces and nephews. It's okay. As long as I never, ever have ill intentions, ill thoughts towards my godchildren and nieces and nephews I had to walk away from to preserve their peace through my absence, then I'm okay with the decision. I wish I could explain to them, but I can't. Should they ever come to me when they're adults, I will absolutely tell you everything and why everything went the way they did from my perspective. But until then, my life just continues and change is allowed. There will be differences, right? Then they will say, oh, you are so full of yourself. I'd rather be full of myself than full of the pain that you want me to feel. I'd rather be full of myself than full of the expectations of people who are not comfortable seeing me stable, secure, and peaceful. So if I need to be full of myself to give myself the permission to exist in a dignified manner, absolutely, from my crown to my toes, I am full of myself, full of grace for myself, love for myself, compassion for myself. Finally, it's taken me 46 years to realize I deserve to love myself. And it's okay. It's okay. Because until I gave myself permission to love myself in that way, there was no movement. None. I was stuck in place. Why? Because I allowed myself to be. We can't make these people out to be villains when we're co-creating it. We're co-creating the circumstance. We are co-creating the stagnation, either through enablement or full on perpetuating it, inviting it, right? For many of us, we think, oh, but I already walked away from so and so. How come this is still happening? You walked away from the human, you didn't walk away from the cycle because that person's gone. You went and found yourself a replacement, someone who acts just like that person with a different face. Yikes. Did we know that? Did we know that we do that? Because for many of us, we do. You ever notice how your boyfriend or your girlfriend is saying the same hurtful things that your ex said to you? And if you allow yourself to really look at that, your ex that said these hurtful things, who do they remind you of? What is it? What is it? Who is it? Who is it? Is it one of your parents? Is it an adult that was part of your upbringing that said those same type of things to you? Yikes. Do you realize that you do those things? You know, Michael is encouraging me to share this, and it is accurate. So we'll just say my father was very harsh in his communication. And when I say harsh, it wasn't uncommon for him to refer to me as a whore, which I don't get because I was a virgin. So, yeah. And I never was allowed to leave the house. So, there were times where he would call me a whore. And then when I began having relationships in my teens and young adulthood, I just really felt like, I don't know, I felt like these people, I don't have very many boyfriends, but I felt like these guys just really didn't love me. And it was like, why? Well, because they never called me a bitch. They've never called me a whore, none of those things. So it's like, do you even love me? That's fucked up, isn't it? But then here's the thing, because I'm very strong willed, if you ever say that kind of thing to me, RIP your face, I'll claw your fucking face off. Yeah, you have a big problem on your hands. Well, back then, now I'm not bothered by what anyone says about me. But back then, absolutely. Absolutely. You see, when you allow people to have so much power over you, you allow their words, they might be gone, but you seek it out still because you're not done with a cycle. This big change that's coming, it wants you to be done with the cycle. It wants you to get to a space where you can now just be yourself. Pack your bags. It's time to walk away from all that caca that really, if again, you allow yourself to see it for what it is a repeat of cycles from childhood. Everything that you go through as an adult, all the types of relationships from platonic to romantic to professional, even the ones that you choose, they're probably reverberations of something from your childhood. Yep. Until you consciously choose to exit out of that and allow the change will not happen. You have to choose the change. And sometimes you don't realize that you've chosen the change. You just see yourself and your life changing and you don't know what's happening. And it's scary. It's scary because it's something new. I'm not afraid of change. Why? Because everything that's happened in my life, change was a precursor. All the good things that have happened in my life, change was the precursor. It's a precursor. So relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. What does that mean? Stop clinging to the very aspects of shadow that you're not willing to address. The people who you cling to, they're actually externally projected reflection of something inside. It's maybe an internal recording of things people have said to you when you were much younger. It might be a reflection of the way you see yourself, most likely as a byproduct of something someone did or said when you were younger. One of those things. One of those things. So what needs to happen now? You need to guard your new birth vigilantly. You don't quite know who you are yet. And that's okay. That's a part of your process. It doesn't mean you're lost. It doesn't mean you're messing up. It just means you need to be careful about allowing other people's words into your space before you've developed enough in that space to recognize what is accurate and true for you and what is not. Yep. See, you have to see the true you, because what you want wants you. You want that new life. You want a peaceful life. You want to be stabilized in your life. It wants you too. But Do you want to hold on to the old more than you want to allow for the change of the new? Because that's going to be an issue. That's going to get in the way and it's going to distort everything. So, what do you really want? You don't know because you don't allow yourself to feel. I know someone had commented something about people will say to you that, oh my God, you're so sensitive. Here's the thing, there's a difference between sensitive and emotionally unstable. Being sensitive means you feel things deeply. Sometimes it involves tears, but that doesn't mean you are emotionally unstable. You guys saw me cry a couple times during the course of one video. It hasn't even been an hour yet. And you've seen me cry a couple times over different circumstance. I am a sensitive person. Am I emotionally unstable? No, not at all. You're hanging around people who don't know the difference between divinity and AI. They want something that has the aesthetics that they're looking for, but they don't want the reality of it. Here's the reality. You want to be evolved, you want to be ascended, you want to be woke. That requires sensitivity. These people who say they're woke and you've never seen them express an emotion, that's a fucking facade. That is a caricature. That is a character they are playing. And then, of course, you will have people who will hear the words I just said because they absolutely go through my content to see what they can regurgitate as their own. And they'll force themselves to cry. Because Emmy said, if I don't cry, I'm not authentic. So let me go ahead and have some crocodile tears. So, Emmy, how are we going to know? You're going to need to develop your discernment because your discernment will tell you when someone is fake as shit. I told y'all about that one time I did an in-person event, and this person was really trying to convince everyone that she was our mom during a lifetime. I don't fucking know what she was trying to convince us. She was trying to convince us of something like group psychosis type thing. And I was like, this does not resonate. And then she grabbed my wrist and tried to drag me to the couch. And she was like, I have to listen to her on the last night. And I said to her, do you want to be supported or do you want the truth? Because they're two different things. Because if she wanted the truth, I was going to be like, I think you're fucking lying and making shit up. I think you're experiencing some degree of spiritual psychosis and you're going to kind of need to stop because you're ruining the experience for everyone. But she, because I gave her the option, said she wanted to feel supported. And so I very stiffly wrapped my arm around her from the side, at which point she buried her face into me and then started crying. And I know it was fake crying. And I was just like, fucking fake ass tears. And yeah, someone else was in the room and saw me like, oh my God, this is not even real. These are not even real tears. And I mean, you can't tell people that what they're feeling is not real, but I'm not stupid. I know when people are being fake. I'm fucking autistic. I know when people are being fake with me. What can you tell? Because I've had plenty of people be fake with me. And I've learned hands-on experience. I've learned the telltale signs, the feelings, the way the energy registers. Fake tears are fake tears are fake tears. Doesn't matter if it comes from a female or a male. I can tell when the tears are fake. How? Because I'm a highly sensitive empath. I don't feel shit when you cry. You can't fake that. You can't fake that. You can't hijack that. If I don't feel it, because I feel everyone's emotions. If I don't feel it, you're fucking faking it. And yeah, no, there are times where I do feel it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. This is like making me uncomfortable. But I feel it, don't I? Yeah. Has nothing to do with my reaction. Has everything to do with me knowing I am highly empathic and I feel people's lies. I feel the deception. I can feel it. I can feel the fear of they're like, does she believe me? I don't. I can feel when someone's hesitating because they're afraid of what I will say in response, not because they're planning something bad, but because they don't want to be a bother to me. Hold on. Who's this? Oh my. Does she want to speak to me about the Lord? Is that what she's here for? Let me text my husband. There's someone at the front door wanting to speak to you about Christ, about the Watchtower. She has the Watchtower pamphlet. Let me stop. I gotta go, guys. Okay. Y'all. And I have a personal experience that justifies the way I feel. Back in early 2000s, I was heavily pregnant and on bed rest. Someone knocked on the door. I was the only adult home with all my little children, little children, newborns. And then I opened the door because I looked and it was two old ladies and they were Filipino. I was like, oh, Lolas. Oh my God, two Lolas at my door. And then they had the Watchtower pamphlet. And I'm Catholic. And I opened the door and they wanted to come in. I said, oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. And then I went to close the door, at which point one of those Lolas, she put her shoulder into my door and tried to shove it open. And we were fighting for maybe a good minute. I was fighting to get that door closed with my entire weight. I don't know if she was going to try and come in and do what she wanted to do. I don't know. But I finally got the door closed and I locked it. And then she shoved the pamphlet underneath. And I'm just like, so now I don't trust anyone with a Watchtower pamphlet. Absolutely not. Those were too old. I went into preterm labor. Not even joking. I went into preterm labor. My husband had to come home from work early to rush me to the hospital to stop the labor. I just be sensitive. My body responds. My body responds to emotion. So the change that's coming, your body is going to respond to the emotion you have for this change. If you're going to fight it, if you're having a difficult time processing, you will feel physical symptoms. Even with the parasitic environment that's happening, a lot of people are feeling physical symptoms, physical discomfort. So I have the comfort care event. Excuse me. My higher self had told me a couple weeks back, and I never mentioned it. I did make it available on the website, but never mentioned it. Why? Because I didn't understand why Soul was like, I need to do a comfort care event. The comfort care event is about addressing chronic pain and the physical sensations of dense emotions. So there's 2 ticket options, and you guys can read more about it if you click on the QR code or the link in the comment. With the comfort care event, we're going to be addressing chronic pain. If you have fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, things that are from inflammation, like pain that comes from inflammation, this would be a really, really good event. It's a recorded event, so you'll have the ability to rewatch it. And every time you rewatch it, it's like me working on you again. You have unlimited access to this video. And then there's a second option where it is an enhanced ticket. And with that, it's another event that follows the first. It's right after. And none of this is going to be publicized. There's no overspray anything. This is done on my private servers. So with a second event, I'm going to be doing quite a few different activations that your higher self has deemed necessary to really enhance really, really enhance that pain mitigation. For those of you who don't know, the gravity of my work, I'm able to access nerve bundles. And as I access those nerve bundles, there's quite a few different things that I'm able to do. So, some of those things, I am able to do deep brain stimulation. I can do nerve blocks for your supraorbital, supratrochlear, infraorbital, trigeminal nerves. I can sedate the upper extremity nerves that includes the brachial plexus, the interscalene, supraclavicular, infraclavicular, your axillary, and your torso. I can do your abdomen. I could do the lower body from the femoral nerve to the sciatic nerve to the popliteal nerve, the entire body. I can go ahead and do those things. Those are some very highly developed skills that I have. So, yes, the comfort care event, that's something that if you have quite a bit of just chronic pain, you have chronic migraines, you have chronic sensitivities, physical sensitivities, that could be a really, really helpful event to attend. So you just click on the QR code or the link in the comment, and that will take you there. And then I finally have another morphogenetic fundamentals workshop available for those of you who are interested in learning how to maintain your auric field, learning how to maintain your chakras, your auric shields, harnessing your own energy in a way that is designed to work with how you naturally are. This is the workshop for you. All of these workshops are virtual, so you don't have to leave your home, and they're all recorded. So with the morphogenetic fundamentals workshop, this is the prerequisite for my level 1 certification program. So if that's something that you are also interested in, you're interested in applying to certify, the morphogenetic fundamentals workshop is something that's a requirement. Okay, I got to get going, guys. I got to get to my sanctuary. For those of you who are in the soul sanctuary, let's meet up in about 10 minutes. I will see you guys there. I have some serious stuff to share with you. I have some serious stuff to share with you, and it's having to do with the environment that we're in. A lot of the parasitic circumstance and whatnot. You guys need to know some really important information. So I'm going to be sharing that over in the sanctuary. You worked on my trigeminal nerve. I did. How is your trigeminal nerve doing? Do you still have inflammation? Oh, are you having aggressive salivation? Email, or are you just saying that that's something that you want to learn about? I don't know. Email me if there's something that's going on that needs to be addressed. Okay, just email me and then we'll figure out what's happening. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your day. And I'll be live tomorrow to do expedites. So I'll have that on my Hubi link later today.